Cameroon held a presidential election on October 12, 2025. This should have been a moment for people to choose their leader. The official result came out. It said Paul Biya had won again. This is his 8th term. Biya is 92 years old. He has been president for 43 years. More than 70% of Cameroonians have never known another leader. They were born. They went to school. They had kids. It's like watching the same movie on repeat for your entire life. But this time, the story is different. The credits rolled, but many people are saying it's the wrong ending. They believe the election was stolen. Let's talk about the numbers, because this is where the fight really started. After the polls closed, two very different stories emerged. Think of it like two different people watching the same football game and claiming opposite scores. First, Issa Chiroma Bakari, the opposition leader, came out strong. On October 19th, he released his own count. His tally showed he had won with about 60% of the vote. For his supporters, this was the proof. The government's National Vote Counting Commission released its provisional results. They said President Paul Biya was in the lead with 53%. Chiroma, according to them, was at 35%. These two results cannot both be true. The Constitutional Council, which is the final authority, sided with the government. On October 27th, they confirmed Biya as the winner. Opponents called the council a rubber stamp of a tyranny. The numbers didn't add up, and trust collapsed. When people feel their votes have been stolen, they don't just go home and complain, they take to the streets. That is exactly what happened in Cameroon. After the results were announced, protests erupted in several cities. Protesters burned tires and barricaded roads. In Garoua and Maroua, crowds demanded the true results be respected. The government's response was swift and brutal. They used tear gas and water cannons to break up the crowds. There are reports they also used live ammunition on unarmed civilians. At least 4 opposition supporters were killed in the crackdown. In Garoua, a teacher was reportedly shot and killed during a protest. The government also began arresting activists, about 30 in Douala alone. A 3-day lockdown shut down major cities. People are afraid to speak and afraid to stay silent. In any fair contest, you need a neutral referee. In an election, that's the Electoral Commission and the courts. But in Cameroon, many feel the referee was playing for the other team. Independent observers reported a pattern of serious irregularities. Polling stations were suddenly moved without notice. The electoral register reportedly contained names of deceased people, ghost voters. If dead people can vote, those in power can make them vote for whoever they want. Complaints went to the Constitutional Council, the highest court for election matters. The council dismissed all legal challenges. Akere Muna called the council a rubber stamp of a tyranny, ignoring clear evidence of fraud. When the referee is biased, the game becomes a performance decided behind closed doors. You would think the world would speak. Instead, silence. No major Western capital recognized Biya's victory, nor strongly condemned it. Intellectuals called the silence a betrayal of democracy. So, where does Cameroon go from here? The country is on a knife's edge. A government determined to hold power, and a population that feels cheated. A recipe for long-term instability. All this atop an ongoing separatist conflict. First, stop the violence. Security forces must show restraint. Protesters must keep it peaceful. There needs to be a credible, transparent review of the results by an independent body. Allow African Union and other international observers to examine ballots and voter lists. President Biya could open a national dialogue and hear grievances. The opposition must be part of a constructive solution. Millions of young Cameroonians need to know their votes count. Save the country from chaos by letting the truth be seen.